Well, then welcome back to today's final splash of paint, where it's time to welcome back Keith Fenwick as he demonstrates how his sky and texture brush is the perfect tool for adding shadows to the foreground of your painting in the second part of a step-by-step landscape project.
Our first stage was to paint in the sky and the trees. For this stage, we're going to paint in the land area and we're going to edge the riverbank. So I'm using the sky and texture brush. I'm simply painting in the grass area. I've designed this brush so that it comes to a chisel edge. So it makes it simple to get the cuts in the bank and so on. So we can shape the bank quite easily. I'm just building up a bit more green there. Bit of darker colour in the foreground. Lighter in the distance, darker in the foreground. Coming to the round brush now. Some Payne's grey, some burnt sienna and some Hooker's green. I'm going to work around here now and just do a dot dash. Building up the bank. I'm going to rinse the brush. Use the side of the brush, just flick bits up like that. Same with the other side. Start shaping this a bit. Use the side of the brush. I'm switching to a rigger brush now. Get more delicate work. A bit darker tone, more Payne's grey added. The river's going round the corner here, off into the distance. Just having a little wiggle here. Little dry lighter, of course. Just do a few dot dashes down there. Somebody will get the message. What you can do, you can use your knuckle and pat away to get a bit of texture. Or you can actually stick a bit of tape over while the paint's wet, of course, and lift the paint to get some texture on the grass. Just one little bit. Connect it up there. The trees. Well, that's that stage completed. The next time we're going to finish the water area and we're going to put some sheep in. See you next time.
Thanks for that practical advice there, Keith. It just goes to show how using the right tools and a few simple brush strokes can add depth and bring a painting to life. Now, before we go, folks, we've just got time to sail away with Maurice as he shows us the beauty of using artisan oils wet in wet in the last of today's Art Bite features.
Hello. Today I'm going to show you the beauty of working with artisan water mixable oils and the fact that they're so easy to use wet in wet. I'm going to paint a little a Thames, it's a sail from a Thames barge, and really it's just to show the transition from light to shade, from and back again. So I'm going to mix a sort of archetypal, yeah, that's the right word, I think, Thames barge sail colour, which is a lovely sort of reddy brown colour. So I'm using burnt umber, burnt sienna, a little alizarin crimson, just to warm it up a bit, and I'm going to mix 3 shades. So this one's the mid-tone. So using 2 of those, the burnt umber and the burnt sienna, again I'm going to make the dark colour there, and then a little bit more over to the side. I'm going to make a much lighter shade, and this works equally as well for doing drapery, things like the pleats and folds in tablecloths, curtains, all that sort of thing. So this method is really useful for painting materials. So I've mixed it with a bigger brush. Now I'm going to sort of go down, this is a number 2 filbert, and I'm going to put the darker colour in this corner. What I'm sketching on here is an oil painting paper, a Clairefontaine oil painting paper. You can use it for acrylic as well, but it's just the job for doing little things, little sketches like this. So there's a bit of dark going up round the sail there. Now pick up some of the mid-tone and start putting it in the middle here. This is the wind's coming from behind the sail, so the sail's billowing out in a sort of a nice curve, because it's filled with wind from behind, so it comes in and out of the light. So I'm coming up, not worrying too much about this edge, but if I just cut that in around there, pick up some more, and we're going down. That's it. So you can already see that's starting. I haven't done any blending yet, I've just put the paint over the edge of it, but picking up some more of the lighter colour into that mid-tone, lightening up this area. The boom, I'm not sure what the technical term is, but the gaff rig spar comes down through the sail there, on this side of the sail. So that will cast a shadow, which we'll come back to in a minute. But there's a little crease in the sail here, so that's dark and comes around there. And then wipe the excess of that off, back into the mid-tone and blend it. And this is really the object of this exercise, is that it just shows you how you can blend colours together and create the shape of things just by the change of light on the material itself. So again, a little bit lighter down here into this corner, just sort of cutting into the mast there, or the edge closest to the mast. Straighten this up a bit. A little bit more white into here, just to lighten that a little bit more. And then I can go back, just have a quick look and see how that sort of looks, and then start your blending stroke. So I'm pulling down through that paint into the colour next to it. So just softening that in and wipe the excess off, because that's going to be too light, because the next thing I'm going to do is blend in this dark to the mid-tone here. So the strokes I'm going to make angular across there, just suggesting that shape that it creates. There again, I'm just softening that line. I want to leave that line in there, but just blend that together. Just wipe off the excess again, go back in and change the direction of stroke. Again, following the form of the sail into it there, like that. And go with a bigger brush. I've got a big one here. I'm going to use this just to soften. So I'm just going to tap it on the edge like that. Make sure the bristles are nice and open, and then just very gently pull that across. And then turn the brush over, so I've got the clean side, and do the darker into the mid-tone. And it's quite important to occasionally just step back a little bit, have a look and see whether anything needs lightening or darkening, or whether you've got it about right. With the small brush again, the last thing is the shadow of that spar that comes up across the sail there. So glasses on, and I'm just going to cut in down the edge. He said, just cutting down the edge. Again, holding my breath to try and keep a straightish line. And that's the other beauty with oil paint, is that the next thing would be to paint the spar, but you can paint that across there. So again, just got to soften that shadow, the line of that shadow, so it's not too definite. And then just continue, pull that shadow, the lighter bit back into the sail itself, that way. And that's it really. It just allows you to show the form. It's an easy way of doing folds and drapes in material. So you can have some fun doing that. It's great practice. So I hope you've enjoyed that little tip, and I'll see you next time.
Well, that's all we've got time for today, folks. I hope we've inspired you to try your creative hand at something new. Tune in next time when popular artist Peter Woolley works his wonders with negative space. Versatile landscape artist David Hyde shares his top tips for painting a winter wonderland. And mixed media artist Jan Gardner reveals one of her favourite art box essentials. So we hope you join us next time for another colourful edition of A Splash of Paint.
For a free splash of the bi-monthly Paint magazine, packed full of stimulating step-by-step guides, fantastic features and artistic advice from all your favourite TV artists, visit www.saa.co.uk.